Time now for PFT on Yahoo Sports. Peter King, Mike Florio. 18 teams are done for the 2021 season, and a third of those teams are looking for new coaches. 6 vacancies already. Who knows what else may happen, but we know that 6 teams are looking for coaches. The Broncos, the Jaguars, the Raiders, the Bears, the Vikings, the Dolphins. Which of those jumps out to you as the most attractive, Peter?
Well, you know, to me, I think Miami's probably the closest to being able to win now and win consistently, unless you talk about the Raiders. The Raiders are fascinating, but I really wonder, Mike, if the Raiders beat Cincinnati in Cincinnati Saturday, you know, is Mark Davis going to seriously consider just giving Rich Bisaccia the job? You know, and I think that's entirely possible. I think in an ideal world, Mark Davis would like a billboard. He'd like Jim Harbaugh, honestly. But, you know, we'll see what happens. We'll see if Harbaugh actually does defect and how much money it would take. The problem, I think now, looking at Miami, which is a job that I would really like if I were if I were a head coach, the big problem with Miami is that I think they're really tentative on Tua Tagovailoa, and they're not positive that Tua is their guy. And even if you move heaven and earth and try to trade for Deshaun Watson, you know, I mean, do you really want to cast your lot with a guy who's got so much baggage right now coming to your team and hope that, well, in 2022, maybe we're going to have to deal with a suspension and not a full season, but 2023 going forward, it's almost like you're mailing in 22 to get to 23. So there's a lot of weird situations going on, but I think Miami is kind of an attractive job right now.
You could argue that none of them are attractive, that the jobs are available because the teams aren't good, because the organizations are at some level dysfunctional. And Peter, I wouldn't touch Miami because the owner doesn't live and work in Miami. It's potentially a pit of dysfunction, as we saw play out. If any time that the coach goes and the GM stays, or the GM goes and the coach stays, that to me is a bad sign, because I think the coach and the GM need to always be on the same standard. Either both go or both stay, because you create a situation where they end up at odds and they end up blaming each other if they think there's a chance that one survives whatever it is that has the owner up in arms. I'm going to say for now, I like what they have going on in Denver. However, and again, none of these are perfect or the jobs wouldn't be open, but I like what they have going on in Denver because George Paton's firmly in charge. He's making this call. They are going to have a new owner, and it could be, you know, an owner that isn't ideal, but you're going to get a nice big contract. You go out and find a quarterback. It feels like they're a quarterback away from being contenders. And I also add this too. Jacksonville, with Trevor Lawrence and what he showed in Week 18, there's some promise there. You just got to navigate the Trent Baalke angle in Jacksonville. But again, none of these are ideal. If they were ideal situations, there wouldn't be vacancies.
The thing about Denver that I like a lot is that, and I wrote this in my column Monday in Football Morning in America, the Broncos will be the most desperate team in this offseason. They will spend a lot of money to solve their problems. Could some team out there trade a chunk, a big chunk, maybe a 1 or a combination of picks to New Orleans to try to get Sean Payton, for instance? Nothing is off the table for Denver. And I believe Denver absolutely unequivocally is going to move heaven and earth to try to trade for an established quarterback. Now, who could that be? You know the names. So I think Denver is going to look altogether different in April than it looks right now.
Yeah, absolutely, including a possible new owner who may be very happy with the product that the owner ends up purchasing. That's it for PFT on Yahoo Sports. Thanks, as always, for some of your time. Enjoy the first round of the playoffs, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.